Shalom, shalom, shalom. What's going on, family? What's going on? Welcome to another edition of Maccabees TV. Y'all getting two in one day. I don't know what else to tell y'all. Peace and blessings to the family. Shalom. Make sure as y'all come in the house that you hit the like button. Hit the like button as you come in the house and show your brother Priest Dan some love. I'm going to give a few minutes for y'all to come in the building. Y'all was just on my other live stream I just did a few minutes ago, so I told y'all I was coming right back. So come on in, man. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Make sure you also share this on social media. I'm about to do the same thing. I'm about to share this on social media as well. Okay. So that brothers and sisters can catch this on the rebound. Give me 1 second. All right. Let's go. Let's see what's going on here. Hit the thumbs up, y'all. Let's go. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. Y'all were just in here. All right. So while we're waiting for people to come in, we're going to go ahead and play a quick commercial, and then we're going to bring the guest of honor on. So let's go. Well, you know what? Hold on 1 second, y'all. 1 second. I'm not even going to do that. 1 second. Gotta make sure I don't share the wrong link with you guys. Sisters of the Maccabees, Sister Malika in the building. Shalom to you. Let's see here. Let's just share this. Oops. Share it here. And I'm going to share it in y'all group, One Nation. Okay. One Nation. All right. All right. There you go. All right, family. Let's go. We're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to another edition of Maccabees TV. Make sure as y'all come in the building, you hit the like button. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on my guest of honor. I have from the One Nation camp. I'm going to say this is my favorite couple. My favorite couple, man. Y'all are so, y'all relationship is amazing, man. Y'all are so close, and y'all just do everything together, man. Y'all were practically separated at birth. Hey, your wife is you Judah, right?
What you said?
You Judah, right?
Khan.
Okay, and Alaska, what tribe? You Ephraim or what are you?
Simeon. I'm Simeon. I was just raised in Puerto Rico, so I act like I'm an Ephraim, but I'm Simeon.
Okay, I forgive you for that, sis. I forgive you for that. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to another edition of Maccabees TV. What's going on, family? So, you brothers and sisters see the title of the video. It's called The Update on Brother Darak Thomas. Some of you brothers and sisters are not familiar with the story of Darak Thomas. So, what I'm going to do is I'm about to pass the live stream over to them so they can tell you quickly who Darak Thomas is. We already spoke about the brother about a month ago on his channel, but I want to bring brothers and sisters up to date as to who Darak Thomas is before we get into exactly what's going on with the brother's case. As you come in the building, please hit the like button. Hit the like button to show some love and respect to my house. So without further ado, Brother Yuwaitazar, Sister Yaleska, the floor is yours. Introduce yourselves and then go right into the story.
All praises to the Most High. First and foremost, we definitely want to give all honor and praise to the Most High and the only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, who some people ignorantly call as Jesus Christ, Yeshua, Yehoshua, whatever you go by. We ain't hating, but we call him Yahweh Shah. And my name is Yahweh Itazar. This is my wife.
My name is Jaleska.
All praises. And pretty much what we're doing, we're setting up a GoFundMe for the brother Darak Thomas. This is a brother who was born into this truth. His family have a lot of strong ties with the Hebrew Israelite movement, with the Marcus Garvey movement too, starting from his great-grandfather to his congregation being passed down through his family, just knowing that they've been Israel since the 1800s, you know. This is a real good brother. I met the brother back years ago, probably like 2005, 2006. Very strong, very diligent brother, although he have a family congregation that has been teaching him this truth. As he got older, he began to explore and show love to all of the camps. And at one point was even fellowshipping with the House of David. Fluent in Hebrew, very fluent in Hebrew. I've walked around in Brooklyn with him where all of the Amalekites live. And trust me, they didn't like that with him being able to speak back to them fluently, you know. But very good brother. And pretty much long story short, there was a time period where we got separated. I didn't have as much communication with him as I feel like I should have. The brother got into a relationship with a woman who eventually just, you know, led him down the wrong path, because this woman had a lot of things going on in her life, and it didn't start coming into light until, you know, everything just started crashing down around the brother. Pretty much the sister had a child before she met the brother. And, you know, she was, well, I don't want to say she was, but the child was being abused before he came into the relationship. So when he got with her 5 months later, there was a situation that took place that he deemed was unacceptable, and he intervened to help save the child's life, took the child to the hospital, but the child sadly passed away. When the police got involved, originally, they view him as a hero. They viewed him as a hero, right? You know, and they was going after the child's mother. But as time progressed on, she was offered plea deals, and they found out he was a Hebrew Israelite, and somehow, some form, everything just started getting focused on him being a Hebrew Israelite. So once that came into play about his faith, this walk this way, the truth, they offered her a plea deal to be able to do only 5 to 10 years in jail to pretty much snitch on him. Originally, they even came to him at one point and offered him a plea deal against her. But him being with her for the 5 months that he was with her, or well, he said a little bit close to a year that he was with her, she was pregnant with his child. So he refused to testify against her, and he refused to take any plea deals because he refused to plead guilty to a crime that he did not commit. So as time played, as everything played out in the court, you know, they kept bringing up everything about Yahweh being Yahweh, Mosley, you know, and other people that have proclaimed to know this truth, but did heinous acts, you know, and none of the evidence suggests that he abused this child. The mother of the child had.
Can I come in for 1 second? Just because I kind of want to slow down just a little bit. I want to make sure, because there's people that are tuning in that didn't see our last show. So if you don't mind, before we get to the new stuff, I kind of want to go back. And I want to hit some of the same points we hit before. Here is the brother that met a sister, right? This brother met a sister that had a child already. Probably, we're going to assume, and we know what they say about people that assume, but based on the evidence, we're going to assume he probably did not vet the sister with the way he was supposed to, or vet the child. Because if you are courting a sister that has a child, you should not only vet the sister, but you should really know the well-being of the child as well. Because you're taking that responsibility for that child as a stepfather, and maybe even possibly a father if the father is not in the child's life, or if the father is deceased, et cetera, et cetera. You're taking on that responsibility. So this brother did not really vet the woman 100%, didn't vet the child 100%, but kind of just got into a relationship with the woman. And as a result of what happened with getting in a relationship with the woman, this child was being abused before this man got with this woman. The child was already being abused. This child had a lifetime of being abused, as far as I understand the story.
Yes.
But this man came into the child's life at a certain time, and this child passed away from the abuse that the child had been suffering its entire life. And this man was put into prison because he was, as they say, in the wrong place at the wrong time.
That's right. The water for bringing that up, you know, because you know me, I'm not really into the whole camera thing, but yes, that's exactly on point. The brother himself will even admit that he should have really took his time with the sister. You know, the brother himself admit that. But to go backwards a little bit, when I met the brother, I was around 24, 25 years old, and this brother was still a virgin, and he's the same age as me, you know. So this is how serious he was about making sure he got with the right woman, when he being in his truth, so forth and so on. But the brother, you know, he did so. I have Israelite brethren down here hitting me up. Oh man, y'all can still see me? No, this is the text message.
No, you good. Good. Your white is all. You good. Keep.
Okay, but you know, long story short, you know, like I said, this was a very diligent brother. But of course, when it comes to burning, I think lust ended up getting to us all at one point. But it wasn't just lust involved, because as I'm speaking to the brother more and more, I'm starting to find out this was a childhood friend that was separated at one point, and he wasn't around her for some years. So that also played a role in him getting with her and not necessarily proving her the way that he should have.
It took us out. There.
Oh, yeah.
Not sure. You're there then? Yep.
I'm here. Y'all were frozen.
Yeah, I gotta let the brothers know that he's doing the interview.
Yeah, I got.
They just keep texting him and texting him and texting. I was like, hold on. That's why you hear, like, you know, text messages.
Right.
I gotta contact them real quick.
But you made a very good point about the young girl suffering from abuse from long before he came into the relationship. The mother of the child and her family hired a pathologist. And the pathologist that they hired, that was supposed to be playing for their case, even acknowledged that there was abuse from years before the brother got involved. And that the abuse even indicate that it could date back to almost about when the girl was only 3 months. You know, so even the pathologist said that, and said that it's a possibility that she committed perjury and lied to understand, because she said that the child was fine before he came into the picture, but the evidence show otherwise. You know, so, and to continue the story, pretty much the brother was convicted, and he was sentenced to life without parole. Originally, he was on death row. But when he was finally sentenced, he was sentenced to life without parole. And this brother had no prior convictions,
so your white
no criminal history, no arrest, anything like that.
Your white, do you mind if I jump in for a second? I kind of want to go slow. I know I want to get to the new stuff, but I kind of want to go slow. So when we did the last interview, there was some concerns from brothers and sisters about this case, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first concern is, and I want you to put you and Sister Yaleska and myself to put ourselves in Darak's position, right? You got somebody that gets you, that knows that you're innocent, talking about the woman, and allows you to be locked up in prison for this crime that she knows you didn't commit, because this child had a lifetime of being abused. And then we hear that he doesn't want her to get locked up because she's pregnant with his child, so he doesn't want her. And a lot of people had a problem with that. They felt like that part of the story just didn't make no sense. So it kind of raised suspicions from a lot of brothers and sisters. After I did the show, that was one of the main things I heard. They didn't understand why it is that this brother didn't want to press charges against that woman. Yeah, she was carrying his child, but he was innocent. Like, why would you want to get out and you just work it out from there? So do you want to kind of talk about that? Did you speak to him about that?
Oh yeah, of course. I spoke to him about that, you know, and his main thing in regards to that was that he didn't, well, like I said, it's more to the story that I definitely came into. So this was a childhood friend that he knew since they was kids, you know. So he knew certain things about her life as far as abuse that she suffered when she was younger, you know, and the sympathy aspect definitely comes into play. And then also the fact that he didn't want to press the charges, not only just because she was pregnant with his child, but at that particular time, he had an ideology that he didn't want to see another Israelite brother or sister go to jail. You know what I mean? And he still didn't have full understanding of the situation he was dealing with himself. Yeah. He still didn't understand this woman's past until everything just started coming out in the court.
There were actually things that came out that he wasn't even aware of those things until he was actually getting the charges and seeing everything that was like, oh, she did this, she's involved in this, she's involved with that, and now he's looking around like, who is this woman? You know what I mean? Like, who did I got in bed with? Because this is not what I thought that it was. It was almost like opening a can of worms, how they say.
And I want to intervene real quick. I'm gonna use myself as an example. When I came into this truth, I was celibate for 4.5 years before laying with a woman. And I only dealt with one woman before dealing with my wife. And the sister, well, I don't even want to call her sister, she was a devil. The devil I was dealing with before I met my wife, you know, I knew her from the world. So I didn't prove her the way I should have proved her, you know. And I'm thinking that she's the person that I met in the world. And she's probably thinking the same thing about me. But once I got with her, so many things started coming out. She was a drug, she sold drugs. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't realize that until one day I'm with her and she sold drugs right in front of me, you know, and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. You know, and other things, she had a warrant out for her arrest for pistol whipping somebody, you know. So I didn't realize a lot of the past that this girl that I was dealing with, a lot of this stuff didn't start coming out until it was almost too late. And it landed me in jail behind bars for something that I didn't do. And thank Yahweh, while Yahweh shot, that I was able to get out of that situation without being convicted of something that I didn't do.
Right. So now my brother Warrior Lord asked in the comments, he said, isn't the mother in prison on another charge? So in other words, I think that was one of the biggest issues that people had was that, okay, he didn't want to testify against her, but she wound up in prison anyway. So
yeah. She ended up going to prison after pretty much he was in prison. So pretty much it kind of continued and carried on the charges for her, charges that they found out, you know, and it started kind of like going towards like navigating towards that direction that she ended up getting locked up anyway after he got locked up.
Right, for something totally separate that had nothing to do with what they were dealing with.
So where's the child right now?
The child is actually with the grandparents,
who y'all said are abusive too.
Yeah.
And that's one of his worries actually right now. His worries is that his child, you know, that he haven't seen for his whole pretty much life is actually being raised by people that was abusing even his mother. You know, some of the childhood trauma that she has dealing with her parents is the same people that is raising his kid.
Exactly.
His son.
So I know you brothers, y'all two came on here because y'all wanted to talk about the updates. When do you want to play the video? Do you want to play the video now, or what do you guys want to go into right now?
Yeah, you can play the video right now.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do, family. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, right? And brother, you white is let's put a face to this conversation that we're having. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a video, an audio clip that brother you white is actually interviewed the brother from prison. It's a very short interview. Your Whites is on. When is this video actually coming out?
Yeah, so probably in about 2 weeks, I'm gonna have a short documentary of the brother and pretty much his life and what he been through. This is just a preview of the documentary, the short documentary I'm working on right now.
All right, so let's go ahead and let's play that. Listen up, family.
What were some of the things that you seen in prison? What was some of the horror stories you seen in prison?
Man, I've seen people get raped. I've seen men, like 6 men, like lions, attack a man. And all of them take turns raping the man. I've seen stabbings. I've seen people take hot water with Vaseline thrown on people and burn their skin on them. I've seen feces fights. People with bottles of feces thrown them at each other. Man. Because guess what? You can be in rap tomorrow. You can be in here with me, and for the record, but people don't know what's happening here with me. For 6 days, I've laid in a bed, naked, strapped to a bed. Only thing I could move was my mouth and my toes, and I could wiggle my fingers. They strapped me to a bed. I've been starved for 3 days. They treated me so bad, and I was, oh my goodness, it's a story. It's stabbings. I mean, CO assault, 2 years in the hole. I didn't see a human face for 2 years of my life. It was so bad, I asked my mother to send me a picture of the tree, and I still got the picture. The last time I touched grass, I can't even tell you. It was bad. I mean, I don't want to feel like crying right now, but it was bad.
All right, brothers and sisters. So, for those of y'all that's just coming on to the live, because I know some of you brothers and sisters are just coming on to the live, that's Brother Darak Thomas. So, this is Brother Your Whites is I'm, who is over the One Nation camp, and the Brother Darak Thomas is a personal friend of his that he's known since he was very young, and the brother is currently incarcerated on false charges against him, and that's the reason why Brother Your Whites is on, his wife is on the live today. So that was a short preview of an interview that they did with the brother. You brothers, y'all want to talk a little bit about that interview that y'all did?
Yeah, definitely. You know, when I interviewed the brother, I definitely, even knowing him all of this time and speaking to him over the phone, I definitely learned more about his struggle and the things that he's been through, the things that he's seen in jail, how he been villainized in the media, you know, and but also even on a good note, the ministry that he's been doing in jail, converting people. This brother has already taught former Black Panthers, at least 3 different people from that used to be part of the Black Panther Party. One person, I forget his name, but they even did a short documentary on him on the Morgan Freeman show. You know, this brother has taught people who was part of political parties there in jail, and he has a big following there, you know. And I'm always speaking. We also have a prison ministry together, you know, where we have brothers even call me and then I counsel them and deal with scriptures and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
they go over it over the phone, and that's how they're able to exchange. They only give them 10 minutes, but he tries to juice them to the best of his ability.
I got 2 quick questions for you guys. I got 2 quick questions for you. He's incarcerated here in New Jersey. I mean, well, not here. I'm not New Jersey.
He's incarcerated in Pennsylvania.
Which is
He's
where
incarcerated in Pennsylvania State Facility.
All right, I need off camera. I need that information because I'll see how far that is from me. Second question I have for y'all is that we left a very, very important part out as we recap this whole thing about this brother, right? And that is particularly the trial. And the reason why I want you brothers, I want you two to talk about the trial is because let's use a contemporary example, right? We see what's happening with Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon is being publicly castrated for acknowledging that he is a Semite. Publicly castrated. Sean Jackson is being publicly castrated. It is not, in this society, in this day and time, acceptable to acknowledge yourself as a Semite, much less a Jew. And you guys told me last time, and for those that are new and didn't see this before, that the Israelite thing you guys felt played a integral part in why he was even convicted to begin with. And we left it out, and that's very important. Can't leave that out.
Yeah, definitely. So when he had his trial, there was Israelites that came to support. There was some Old Testament Israelites. Also the House of David. Shout out to HODC, House of David. They came to support. And brothers and sisters came in a cultural gear. And when they came into that court, the brother Darak said you could see the faces on everybody.
The face changes.
The changes of the judge and everybody, the prosecutor and everybody, faces when they seen the brotherhood and sisterhood that came to support him. And already at that time, they was already villainizing him, trying to say that, oh, he come from a religious cult that hates women. That was the thing that it was really pushing, that he came from a religious cult that hate women. And at that time, the big thing that was on the media was this guy named Mosley. I keep forgetting his name. I don't know his whole name.
Peter Moses. Peter Moses.
Yeah.
Peter Moses.
Yeah, Peter Moses.
Do you think it's advisable or not advisable if a brother or Israelite is on trial to go to the courthouse to support the brother in full garments? How do you guys feel about that now?
I'll let you answer that question first.
So we actually had multiple conversations with elders, especially Elder Mathaf, and part of the council was that we need to sometimes, like, it's difficult, but we do need to sometimes, like, just tone it down a little bit because of how they're already trying to villainize. How they try to villainize.
That's Simeonite talk. Villainize.
Yeah, they try to villainize us. You know what I mean? So, us going, if we're gonna go and show support, there's nothing wrong with like us wearing our fringes. Of course, wear your fringes, but as far as going like full geared, like ready to go to war, like the street ministry teaching, part of the council that we was just politicking about it is that, things like that, for the brotherhood to make sure that it doesn't affect it in a negative way, because that they're looking for excuses. Like they already see us and they see an enemy. Then they see you coming in with militant gear, you're even more and worse of an enemy. And now they have an excuse. So that's what they're constantly looking for. They're looking for excuses. So, come with your fringes, come with your tassels if you wear tassels. But when it comes to militant gear, that's the only thing.
My view is slightly different. And like you said, this is years later, we got the quarterback view, right? So this is my view. I believe that at that time, I don't think that it was a wise thing, but considering everything that's happening now, the scripture tell you in Esau's system that they should be partly strong and partly weak.
Yeah.
And right now in their system, they're really showing signs of weakness. I mean, we have statues and monuments representing white supremacy that's coming down. You have, groups like Black Lives Matter. Not that I support the overall, not that I support everything that Black Lives Matter do, but as far as the struggle of what our people going through, having changing in legislation, laws and all of that stuff, So I think like if that would have happened in this time, this probably would be the perfect time to go all out. I remember the brother Chief Ephraim and I think Shawapar, I forget who was the other brothers with him, but they had a case going on, and they was asking brothers to come out and support. And if at that time, if I was able to, I would have definitely been out there, to show support, because I think that the truth is just, it's coming out whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
It's coming out whether they like it or not, and they're going to villainize us whether we like it or not.
That's a fact.
So if they're going to villainize us whether we like it or not, I think that we have no choice but to just be us and be ourselves and take what comes with it.
All right, Khan.
So pretty much, in other words, it's up to people almost to put it to how, like, if you put it together, it's kind of like if you're going to go in your full gear, then go in your full gear. But if not, then, just keep like your kind of like your casual Israelite attire that you normally Like many times I see like your shirts, you be having like the fitted caps, your shirts with your fringes. That's like exactly. So that's like casual Israelite attire, you know. So that's pretty much when it came to my opinion on it. You know, you have a couple of the brothers' shirts, you know, you rock one of those shirts to the, you know, to the court or whatever, you know, and that's the only thing, you know, we have different views when it comes to that. But I think that there's just, you know, a place for everything. That's my personal opinion. You know.
Okay. So let's bring it up a little bit to date now. Let's bring it up to date, right? So I know for a fact. Let's talk about a couple of things. I know there's a GoFundMe. I don't know if we're there yet. If you want to talk about that yet, but you want to talk about the GoFundMe right now? Or you want to talk about the you know, where he's as far as the case right now with the lawyer? Like, what do you want to talk about right now?
Well, what I want to talk about, if the GoFundMe is fine, because in the midst of me talking about the GoFundMe, we can still talk about the case.
Okay, so before you go into it, your whites is you're going to talk about the GoFundMe. I want you to tell the people what the GoFundMe is, but more important than telling them what the GoFundMe is, I need for you to tell the people what you are going to be using the GoFundMe funds for.
Exactly. So the GoFundMe that we have set up is pretty much for a pathologist to a medical specialist to get involved in pathologist to get involved in the case. So like we mentioned earlier, the sister who is the mother of the child, even her pathologist testified against her. And now the court, because the brother Darak do have a lawsuit pending against the state now for mishandling this case. Now the court is saying that he have to get his own pathologist involved to further prove his innocence. And pretty much this is a specialist, a medical specialist who could be able to examine like all of the evidence in reference to what the girl abuse, how long the abuse been taking on, been happening and all of that stuff. This is what he specialized in. And apparently they say that the person that we're trying to get for him, apparently he's actually within the whole nation, the most preferred or the most requested.
He's a world-renowned pathologist.
Exactly.
And that's the one that his lawyer suggested and got in contact with. And he's going to be reviewing all of the evidence to make sure that he brings clarity and prove his innocence through going through all of the records. Because everything indicates the opposite. So the court pretty much was like, listen, if you want to prove your innocence, then get a pathologist. And then his lawyer was like, well, we're going to get a pathologist. And if we're trying to get you right, then we're going to go for the best pathologist possible. You know, somebody that is respectable amongst the Pennsylvania community. When you go into his history, he actually works with the Pennsylvania area specifically, but more than just them, but he resides on that area specifically.
And the
goal, you see your screen, right? Yaleska and your whites, you can see our screen. That's the dude right there. So just, y'all can see it, right? So go ahead and talk about it. Continue.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. All right. And pretty much the goal for the GoFundMe is $5,000. This is with the pathologist is requesting for. So the payment is only $5,000 to get this man involved,
which is not really a lot when you really look into it. $5,000 to get a brother, proven innocent is actually like pocket change.
Right.
It's actually not a lot. If you have a couple of brothers donating, if a whole bunch of people donated, even like each one of them like $5 or $10, it adds up. Every little bit that people donate adds up to the total amount. So it don't matter if you feel like you cannot donate a large amount, you don't have to. You can even donate $1 if you want to. And just by donating $1, if you have, a whole bunch of other people donating $1, it will add up eventually to the total amount that was trying to get so the brother could use the pathologist.
Right. And you figure if like 20 to 50 people donate, and everybody donate like a minimum of $20, $30, $50, that's the whole $5,000 right there,
And when it reaches the 5,000, I will be pretty much taken down, like closing it, so people don't over donate, because that's not the idea.
It's only
the
to get
idea
this
is
guy.
only just to get him. So once it reaches, and then let me know that the goal was reached, I'm sealing it off. You know, because I don't want people to think that they just, you know, people's just taking money just to take it. I want people to understand that money is being asked for a purpose.
Exactly.
You understand? A purpose and an aim to actually get this guy.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, that will be it. At least something else comes up, then, you know, we will do another GoFundMe.
But as far as for me speaking to his family and speaking to him directly, that is the only thing and the main thing that they need in reference to proving his case.
All right. Well, this is what I'm gonna say, right? I need his information, and I need for you I just to talk to him and tell him that I'm gonna be talking to him too, because I'm out here already. So depending on where he is and depending on if he's allowed, because you know, we live in the new normal. So I don't know if people even can have visitors, if you could go visit people locked up, whatever. I want to have a face-to-face with his brother and talk to him. I want to look him in his eye. I know you know him, but I want to have that. I want to talk to him.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, this is what he wants. He wants to be able to speak to brothers like yourself, face to face. You know, and really, if it was up to him, he'd be on his live right now. But after speaking to his lawyer, I just thought that it was more wise for me and my wife to speak to you guys than have himself, especially since he only have a limited time. Right now, they're only doing the Zoom visitation. So I could give you the information in regards to that, and you could have a Zoom visit with him where you could speak to him directly.
Yes.
All right, so we'll talk. We'll talk about that.
The video, that's us doing the Zoom visitation. Because for now, they're trying to avoid people potentially bringing coronavirus to the facility. As you know, there's been many cases. As you know, there's been many cases of people getting infected with the COVID in jail, and it's because, you know, from guards coming in, people was visiting, and people was getting sick. So they trying to, you know, control it, because, as you know, jail already is a very compacted, you know, area.
Right. Okay. Well, no, we'll talk about it off camera, but I definitely want to have my own conversation with him. And just, you know, forge a relationship with the brother as well. Let him know he's not alone, because should the situations have been reversed? Because what he said in that video is very powerful. He said, you know, there's going to be other Darak Thomases. There's going to be other people. You know, we're coming in this time right now where just speaking this word might get you locked up. You know what I'm talking about? You put you away. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to pin charges on people. What was that couple that in Jersey that blew something up? They tried to pin them on the Israelite community. They haven't been Israelites like in 10 years. They had a flyer. That's all they had was a flyer. They tried to pin that on us and stuff like that. You don't know what the hell is going to happen. You cannot be ignorant of Satan's devices. So there might be other Darak Thomases that's locked up unjustly. And if we don't, you know what I'm saying, if we don't have the mindset to really look into, make sure that the people, those of our people that say they're locked up unjustly, if we don't look into them, you know what I'm saying, then it's not a good thing. So I want to talk to the brother, man, because there's a lot of questions. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I said, I have people asking me a lot of questions when I have y'all on here about the brother. People are concerned. This is the thing, and I want you to express this to the brother. And hopefully, he don't take it no way. You write this down. A lot of people are. You could get a way more support from this channel than you do, but people are just a little concerned that they don't want to have egg on their face. They don't want to come out and just support the brother and come to find out later that he really did do, you know what I'm saying? You know, because you know the brother.
Right. And it's understandable. And then, y'all, I want to say this too. That is completely understandable and acceptable, because we as a community, we got to really condemn heinous acts of brothers or sisters who have fanatical thoughts or do crazy things like this. And I want to say this is the reason why this case is even more important, because with getting this medical specialist involved, the medical specialist can only he have to come at it from a biased point of view. He have to come just looking for the evidence, and the evidence is going to prove whether or not he's guilty or not, which is even more, because if he's guilty, then guess what? That would just means that we just help support pushing and putting a brother behind bars who was guilty of this crime. And if he's innocent, then we just supported freeing an innocent brother from doing life without parole.
And at one point, he was even in death row too.
Yeah.
How long?
And he was able to come from the death row to life without parole.
Right.
Remind me, y'all, how long has he been in? How long has he been in it now?
12 years.
Yeah. Well,
12 years.
That's
when you actually like listen to him speaking, is you know, I was watching because I was helping my husband record the whole interview, and it is very touching, you know, the testimony of the things that he's been while he's in there, the things, the adjustments that he has to have done, you know, just to be able to survive in jail, because jail is like its own, like, it's his own culture, you know, and the adjustment that he had to do just to be able to survive, you know, for people to take him seriously, to prove himself, is things that nobody should go through, especially if you're innocent. Imagine you being innocent and being behind bars and having to prove yourself with all those people.
I just know, I'm gonna say this. I just know, I don't know. I've never been in prison, but I've been locked up before, right? And I'll give you my own personal testimony. It's a quick testimony because it's real, right? I got locked up for some BS. It was something so BS it was petty, and I was in central booking. And the person they put in my cell just shot like 3 people. I was in there. When I tell you it was petty, it was petty. They put somebody that literally just shot 3 people in the same cell as me. Yeah. Now, if this dude do something and I got to defend myself, now I got a real charge. You know what I'm saying? So even this is real. And I was in there at the time saying to myself, this is some, that's when you really realize this system is some bull. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to be in some prisons. I'm supposed to be in some cell somewhere else where people that did, you know, whatever you petty that you say that, you know, you accuse me of, I should be over there. And somebody that shot somebody else should be over there. No, you put me with somebody that shot somebody 10 minutes ago, 3 people, and I'm in here on practically, I'm not gonna say this is what it is, but practically what? You know, I didn't put money in a meter, a meter or something for parking or something like that. Like, when I say it was petty, bro. They had me in the cell with somebody that just shot somebody. Same
thing with me. I was locked up for something
for real. So I could imagine this brother being in there, knowing he didn't do what he did, to being there that people really did what they did. That's why he was talking about all that stuff, about all the stuff that was going on, the violence in there that he's witnessing. I can't even imagine what he's going through for 12 years, because for me, for that few hours I was in that cell with this person, I was saying to myself, I'm like, yo, if this person flips out, because the dude, and I'm gonna take it a step further, the person they put me in the cell with said it was his 3rd strike. So he was saying, this dude was literally yelling through the bars, yo, I already know I ain't going home. This is it. This is my 3rd strike. And I'm in central booking with this dude in a cell over some bullshit. I was saying to myself, this is some bullshit.
Yep. Hey, Dan, I went through the same thing. I was locked up for something petty, and I was in a cell with nothing but gang members, all blood.
Yeah.
Straight up, man.
I remember him telling me that there was a young boy that was being taken in there, and there was a different gang. When they saw him being passed, everybody was screaming, "Don't do it! Don't take him over there! Don't put him in there!" And they didn't care. They put him in the jail cell.
He was a Crip, and they put him in a cell with a bunch of bloods.
And you already know what happened. You know, and those are the things that happen in there. And now I wanted to bring up also the idea of life. Life in jail, 3 strikes, life in jail. When you get to that point of life in jail, you're in a whole different category with the people that you're in there.
Bro, sister, I'm trying to tell you real quick, Salaki, to cut you off. I just told you I was in the cell with a dude that it was his 3rd strike, right? So you know, if you're in the Bronx, right, you know that when you get locked up in central booking, they have like they had what they call a pen. There's a lot of people in there, right? And this dude, he got locked up, and he basically announced to everybody that was in the pen. It was like 30 of us in there. He said, "Listen, man, this is my 3rd strike." There was some guys on the phone. He said, "Listen, I'm about to do what I'm about to do to you dudes that's on the phone, because I'm never getting out anyway." You know what I'm saying? And so now if them dudes on the phone got into it with him, they would have called it. You know what I'm saying? It was just crazy. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, yo, there was a guy in there. I know we're deviating, but I'm gonna show you how fucked up the system is, and I'm relating it to the brother, right? There was a dude in there. Let me show you how messed up the system is, right? The dude was in there, and he told me that he was in his apartment vestibule, and he walked in, right? And you know how you walk into a big building, and you walk into the apartment vestibule, and you walk, and you're about to get on the elevator, and somebody hit the door behind you, like, yo, I ain't got no key, let me in. He turned around to let the person in out of just being a genuine good person. I'm gonna let this person in, they ain't got no key or whatever. Coming to, yo, it was the police. Soon as he let them in, they arrested him and everybody that was in the vestibule.
Wow.
He only opened the door, he being a nice person, being a good, you know what I'm saying, whatever you want to call it. He opened the door and let them in. But there was some dudes that was actually in the vestibule selling drugs. It wasn't him. And the cops knew that. The door for him, they arrested him and everybody that was in the vestibule. He was in central bookings with all of us. And he was like, he could have caught a charge too, being a nice guy.
Yeah.
Imagine somebody that's in that brother's position that's upstate doing 12 years.
I mean, when he was young, he went for something like that.
Right.
You know, if you want to talk about it.
I don't want to digress too long. I just want to say, Israel, you know, please support the GoFundMe. You know, and pretty much we're bringing true justice for the person who was murdered, you know, and bringing this medical specialist in is going to prove this brother innocent. And if the brother isn't innocent, then guess what? They can't say that Israel don't condemn their own, because then we'll be putting the brother in jail because the evidence would support this case. You know, so I just want to, don't answer.
Y'all sideways now. Y'all sideways.
I gotta get it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Sorry, you know, that's the story of his life.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I blame Sister Alaska for that. Go ahead, bro.
So, you know, please support the GoFundMe and, you know, have a medical expert be able to come in and really examine the evidence like the way it should have been, so that we won't be dealing with a case of speculation. We'll be dealing with a case of truth.
Yes, because like he mentioned, no matter what, whether he's guilty,
He's not.
He's not. But if it shows, let's suppose that it shows that he's guilty, then guess what? He helped put somebody behind bars to deserve it.
Yes.
And if it shows that he's innocent, then there's going to be a spiritual party. Let's call it like that. Let's call it how it is. Why? Because this is somebody innocent that is coming up.
Y'all sound way different than y'all did before. I don't know what's going on. Y'all volume.
I don't know what happened to the volume.
It has to be because of the phone call. It has to be because of the phone call that came in.
Last question before I let y'all go, because I know y'all want to go, and I got to go too, because I got to get up early in the morning. But I want y'all to explain to people, y'all specifically trying to raise this for a pathologist. What can a pathologist do to help him get off, or as far as help his case? Why a pathologist? Of all you could do with the money, why a pathologist?
What was the question?
Yeah, what can a pathologist do? A pathologist is kind of like an advanced forensic, pretty much. They go over all of the evidence, even all evidence. That, you know, when it comes to, because, you know, everybody that dies of a natural death, they do a deep study of the body, right? So when they do that deep study of the body, it shows, you know, especially in an abuse, you know, like how it happened with the little girl. They're going to do like as many as possible, because now that becomes a case of abuse. So now he's going to go into all of the evidence and really like prove it that he's innocent. So a pathologist is like an advanced forensic.
So
you know what I mean?
Now you know that sometimes certain things are admissible in court and certain things are not. So what you're telling us, the people, is that the pathologist that you guys are using, the evidence, whatever his conclusions is, are admissible in court, and the court will recognize his findings. That's what y'all saying.
Right. Exactly. Because well, I don't want to try to speak like I know everything. Yeah. You understand? But like my wife said, he's an advanced forensic. So whatever conclusion he come up with, the court is going to take that and approve it, or come up with whatever determination they're going to deal with. But once more again, there was a pathologist involved in the case, but on the other side, and he ended up having to testify against the mother of the child because the evidence supported. The evidence was more supporting her being guilty than the brother. So a pathologist, they can't be biased in the information.
It's not like a lawyer. A lawyer is there to defend you. A pathologist is there as a neutral ground. I'm all about the evidence, not about representative.
Okay.
So unlike a lawyer there is there to make sure don't say this, don't say that, and they train you to speak a certain way in court. A pathologist is there to just bring the evidence up of what is actually black and what is white. What is what?
Right. I have one last question. One last question, right? So now this pathologist that you guys are trying to get, now there's already information already on the books. Is this pathologist going to review the evidence that already exists, or are they? How does the pathologist get new information? Are they zooming the body to go to check the body again, or are they going to look over what's already been reported on? Like, what are we doing?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Daniela. I don't want to speculate. I do know that they're going to review the evidence that has already been presented, but in regards to whether they're going to get the body and all of that stuff, I don't want to speak too soon and say because I really don't have that information.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yo, thank you both for coming on. When's the due date, man? Sister Yaleska about to have a baby, man. My favorite couple was to have a baby.
Can't see that in the camera, huh? The due date is on the 20th. Is in August 20th. We're gonna be going to get a C-section done. Well, technically, I am gonna be going. He's gonna be chilling behind the curtain, staring at me getting cut up. The easy part of being a man. But nonetheless, we're gonna welcome. I'm not gonna say the name until the
Wait, Sister Yaleska. Sister Yaleska, I thought I was your brother. Yo, he told me I gotta wait 8 days. But I'm brother. Can you tell me before what's the name? What's up?
Hey, look, you see this book right here?
Yeah.
Right? When you read this book, they inform you that the Ashanti tribe, they practice an 8-day naming ceremony. All right, and the way that they practice that 8-day naming ceremony, it was very similar to how we practice circumcision. You know, as far as the child being circumcised on the 8th day, the mother being separated for 8 days, and then at 8th day being with the congregation, and then serving out the rest of the days to the 40. So this was done because, you know, as our people fled into Africa, our people, we had to hide our identity on many occasions amongst the Hamites. So a lot of times we didn't really necessarily circumcise our children on the 8th day, but we would still do a naming ceremony on the 8th day in resembling circumcision.
Yeah, well, he will be presented to the Most High and everything. But of course, ours will be circumcised.
And it's not a law. It's not a law. It's just a tradition.
Yeah, and Yawasai wants to, just, do it out of the feeling of torturing you guys, I'm guessing. And the torture is to me too, because I'm dying to tell everybody the name. And he's like, you know what? I didn't wait 11 years to just not do what I want to do. So I'm like, just be like, you know what? If that's what he wants, he never asks for nothing. After that, he doesn't ask for much. So if he want to name him on the 8th day and tell everybody, he might do a boo-boo and by mistake show the picture, take a picture with the baby in the crib, and probably he's gonna not pay attention. He's gonna show everybody the name. I bet he's gonna show it. By accident, it won't be, but he will do it.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure.
He needs to. And tell me the daggone name. Anyway, yo, man, I appreciate y'all coming on. Thank y'all. All love. You already know. Let's just pray for this brother, man. And your white desire, we'll talk because I do want to talk to this brother. So I know him already have a relationship talking, so I don't want to take away from that. But if I could have 1 or 2 conversations with him, I would love to. So we'll talk about that. All right. Y'all have anything last thing that y'all want to say before we go?
We just want to say all praises to the Most High, man. And the scriptures tell you that all things worketh towards the good of Yahweh. And you know, as I conversed with the brother, we acknowledged that it was the Most High will that he was there. You know, for him being able to preach the word to so many people there was the Most High will. So we just want to say all praise to Yahweh while Yahweh shot. And I can't wait to have this baby, you know, and I thank the Most High for that.
And I would like to say this, right? I know Sister Malachi is probably watching. I know she's not a lover of cameras, but I have to say this. Something that will be very interesting that I've been speaking to my husband behind closed doors. I was like, you know what? They're a very grounded couple, you know, in the scriptures, you know what I mean? And I know that being a separate household with his own priest, which is then a husband with, which is a priest, and also, as far as like the relationship between the priest of the household, I think that it will be very interesting just doing lives about politics and about just according to the law, just having relationships and seeing scenarios, you know, dealing with marriage, speaking about marriage, you know, because it's something that is so, including this case when you look into it, just being unequally yoked, you know, not testing a brother, not testing a sister, how things could turn out. And I think that when you read the scriptures, it's a book dealing with family. Yep. You know, and it's something that definitely I think probably will be interested. I think that many people will benefit from speaking about family. To some, you might be more interested into chariots and all of this other stuff. But when you really look into the milk, a lot of it deals with the basics of everything, which is the family structure. And how many things could be avoided in this life if you start off with having a beautiful parenting like Dan and Sister Malachi. You know, hopefully a beautiful parenting like my husband and I, you know, and the benefits that a kid can have coming up with
that kid that y'all about to have is going to be spoiled. And with that being said, I already see it. Y'all said, I say, family, thank y'all for tuning in. We'll definitely keep you brothers and sisters updated on this case. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure we already put the GoFundMe up. Make sure that y'all go ahead and go and support that, man, so we can support this brother getting a pathologist. And if he's innocent, trying to get him out and back amongst us, you know. And with that, I say thank you for supporting. You already know, hit the like button if you haven't already hit the like button. I say shalom.